Hey guys, Ash here coming at you today and Watcher of Realms. Welcome to the video, guys. Glad to have you here. Sending some love, some positive vibes your way today, especially if you need it out there. Today I want to talk about Guild Boss. Guild Boss, arguably the most important area to focus on inside the entire game, is how you can get your hands. If you're lucky, I would like them to increase the drop rates a little bit in this game for some of the more scarce items, but that's another video for another day. Still, if you're lucky, you can get your hands on, well, all of this good stuff, right? Demon Soldiers, legendary Demon Soldiers, which I've never gotten my hands on, but that'd be great. You can get the very hard to get and rare legendary hero Soul Stone, which is incredibly good for obvious reasons. You can get legendary skill crystals and much more as well. Today we're going to talk about some more accessible heroes that you can invest in. Heck, some of you guys might have these heroes and you're not just using them on your Guild Boss team, or maybe you haven't even built them yet. So today we're going to talk about the top 10 epics inside all of Guild Boss in the game. If I forget to mention your favorite epic champion for Guild Boss, please correct me and let me know in the comments below. Who knows, maybe I'll make a follow-up video testing them out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to, in my eyes, the big four who I see use more than anybody else. Not to say the other 6 aren't good, but 4 are in a lot of end game. We're talking 1 stone, 1 key, whatever you want to call it, end game nightmare 4 teams. So number 1 is going to be, of course, Dolores. So guys, Dolores is going to be on basically every single top team, like without an exception. I don't think there's anybody who doesn't run a Dolores, even alongside other, boosters, other damage boosters, it doesn't matter what you have, you're running Dolores if you have her, right? Obviously she has inspiration, so it's all about getting as high attack as humanly possible on your Doloreses. You'll see usually on the leaderboard we're looking at around 13,000 on the attack or so. Some rage regen is nice as well, especially in Guild Boss, but basically it's attack percentage on your Doloreses. Get more damage onto or out of everybody else. So number 1, and not even close really, I think it's going to be Dolores. Let's move on to the next. I think the other big one is Hollow, and you can see again, this is the world rankings right now. Every team is running Hollow. This is the first team up here that I see no Hollow in, but she's in, like I said, she's got to be in close to 90% of the top teams inside the game. You'll see a lot of attack speed, around 300 or higher on these Hollows, 540 there. Obviously some survivability. If she's going to be your healer, you're going to take that into consideration. Again, 605 on the attack speed there. So it's all about attack speed, and well, she's your rage regenerator, another 608. Man, these are insane in terms of some of these attack speeds. Euphoric Orb are great on your Hollow, your Dolores as well in terms of artifacts, increasing the attack speed of all heroes in range, especially Hollow. She has that massive range as well, and everybody's going to be in her range. She is the go-to rage regen for everybody inside the game, inside of Guild Boss. So she's number 2. And of course, number 3, the big 3, if you will, it's going to be Laurel, right? So Laurel, you don't even really have to build with gear on if you don't want to. Now, it's nice to have her have some sustainability, so you can keep her on the field. Keep in mind, when you keep Laurel on the battlefield right before you remove her, she is giving a damage boost provided her ultimate's not active to your other heroes on the battlefield already, right? So you can get a little utility out of her that way, but it's basically when you remove her from the battlefield, she's filling up everybody's rage by 50%, and that is, well, I don't need to tell you guys, it's amazing. You can pop that shield, the destructive spit on the Guild Boss, and then you can keep going. After that shield is done, you can re-up with everybody ultimate all over again. So yeah, Laurel, Dolores, and Hollow. You can see the number 1 team Hasa in the world right now. As a matter of fact, the number 2 team and the number 3 team and the number 4 team are all using all 3 of these epics. So they're absolutely the definition of endgame. And frankly, I love seeing a game where the endgame actually includes several, not just 1, but several different epic heroes. Now you might be wondering, I said big 4 earlier in the video, but it's Pyros. The last guy is going to be Pyros in terms of epics you see even in the end game, provided you don't have Twin Fiend. So it's because Twin Fiend is obviously an upgrade to Pyros, but Pyros is still incredibly good. He has Focus Fire. He's an Infernal Lord. Infernal is the meta for Guild Boss right now inside the game, right? So what is Pyros doing? Well, 1, he's bringing physical and magic damage reduction, right? So what targets marked, by the destructive command, which is his ultimate, right? And that's where he has that Focus Fire. So basically, you guys know how Pyros works. marks probably the majority of you guys, but halfway through his ultimate, he's going to channel everybody's damage into this massive DPS spike. It's the easiest way, the most effective way to burst that shield on the guild boss. He's really good, a debuffer and just a tons of focus damage, up to 700% damage. It's just amazing. So you want to build your Pyros with a lot of attack speed as well. I have mine at 559. That should be the #1 priority for your Pyros build, is that attack speed. One quick thing I meant to mention on Pyros too is on A3, Awakening 3, Delusional Gaze lasts 5 more seconds if the target is alive after the end of destruction command, which is fantastic. It's going to help you get, again, if we go to his skills, Delusional Gaze is the debuffs, right? So it's going to last even longer, which is just what we really want to aim for eventually. Getting an A3 Pyros will help you a big time in the total damage dealt because of those debuffs being up even longer. Let's keep it going, guys, with the 5th hero on our list today. Next up, guys, is going to be Mari. That's right, Mari. So a lot of people think of Mari, especially in the early game, and just think of her ultimate, right? Which is dealing the AoE damage, but more importantly is creating that great freeze effect to control, slow down, and help you beat numerous areas in the game, such as Gear Raid 1, etc. However, a lot of people will probably realize, but don't realize how effective it can be if you lack a debuffer on Guild Boss. Well, look no further than Mari. What you can do is build her with very high attack speed. You actually do not want to use her ultimate against the Guild Boss at all. So one of those rare cases, we're not even going to be using her ultimate. Instead, we're just going to build as much attack speed as humanly possible, inflicting slow on the target, but most importantly, she's going to be our debuffer, because targets with slow also will get 20% physical damage and 20% magical damage debuffs on them. So she's a great debuffer if you build her fast enough. And I think I have kind of a hybrid build on my Mari right now. If you build her fast enough, what do I have? 528, yeah, attack speed. You can just basically keep those debuffs on the guild boss at all times. So a very, very competent debuffer if you're lacking one for guild boss. All right, guys, now let's talk about a few fighters who are just amazing for DPS, for damage. You don't have those Salazars on your account. Well, look no further. Those Arrogances, those Ardias, look no further than a champion called Vladov. So Vladov is, first of all, he looks amazing, right? He's got a little beast aesthetic going on right now. I love the armor. I really love, I don't know what it is about this dude. I just love it. I just love the aesthetic. The White Wolf, if you will. So Vladov is very good. He has bleed in his kit, right? So great to pair with the Scarlet Hunt artifact as well. Does more damage against targets under bleed. 20% chance to trigger attacks, deals 150 AoE damage up to 5 targets in the front semicircle area, blah, 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 and applies bleed effect on the targets. He also has a talent which increases attack speed and just an insane amount of overall damage that this fighter can put out. Speaking of fighters who can put out a lot of damage, that brings me to Wrath. Guys, honestly, what can't Wrath do? What area of the game doesn't Wrath excel in, or does Wrath not excel in? There we go. Maybe like Gear Raid 3, I guess, you know? Only areas where all air is the only areas where you're not going to be using Wrath. Wrath deals a tremendous amount of damage, and of course at A5, if you're lucky enough to get him there eventually, the heavy blow is triggered. The hero restores HP with 30% of the total damage dealt, which is really nice. It allows you to place him, unlike most fighters, right out of range of your healer, and he can still self-sustain against the guild boss, keep himself alive while dealing tremendous amounts of damage. So Wrath definitely makes the list. One more fighter to share with you guys. Actually, I lied. I have 2 more fighters to share with you guys. One is Deimos. Oh, Deimos. It took me forever. This dude is so hard to get. He's harder to get than some legendaries out there. But you can get your hands on him. Boy, he will not let you down. Not only in guild boss, but this dude's a beast in single target and sustained damage inside the arena. He's very, very good in Void Rift as well, and he's just one of the best single target damage dealers, and his attack scales off his own HP, his own max HP. Basic attack deals additional damage equal to 2% of this hero's max HP, which allows him to just put out insane amount of damage. He increases his max HP on his ultimate by 100%, so you can already see the synergy here in his kit. This dude is just an unstoppable beast. really against the guild boss or any situation. He's one of my favorite fighters out there in the game. Expect a guide on him really soon here on the channel. If you have him, congratulations. Again, he's very tough to get, but he's a beast and he's well worth it. He's well worth, I should say, a celebration when you are lucky enough to pull him. Next up, guys, we have Imani. I'm going to save that last fighter for you guys till the end, technically the 11th hero, and I want to kind of leave you guys with a question on this hero because I do not have a lot of firsthand experience on him, and the reviews are very mixed. Anyway, stay tuned for that. We have Imani, a mage, one of the better mages, maybe the best mage up there outside of Pyros for a guild boss. Instant burst damage, great single target damage dealer, and awakenings are going to be key, like most heroes in the game on Imani, right? On A1, not enter weakening after the holy fire effect ends, okay? And then we have revival time minus 25 seconds on A5 after attacking the same target 6 times, increases the next attack's damage by 10%. If you have her A1, you can get a really kind of a nullification, I would say, of the ultimate cooldown on Imani. I have not, by the way, I want to be upfront with you guys, I have not invested in her, but I've seen a lot of content out there on her, and she can outdamage a lot of legendaries, especially on infernal teams with a Pyros, a Twin Fiend, a Sokodens, etc. Anyway, what does she do? A lot of damage to a single target, right? Entering Overload increases attack speed by 140 and damage dealt by 240% for 20 seconds. When overloaded ends, decrease attack speed by 30 and damage dealt by 30% for 15 seconds. But again, keep in mind, not enter weakening state after the holy fire effect ends. So she's definitely someone you want to have A1, and she can deal a ton of damage for you. All right, 10th on the list, guys. I was gonna give it to Idril because can't you just make a case for Idril absolutely anywhere? But it was very close between her and Lunaria. I decided to go with Lunaria. Lunaria is a marksman who deals magic damage, similar to like a Hex, for example, right? So very good. She's a piercer. She does a lot of damage, right? She does a lot of damage, and she's a lord. So she does have the faction allies attack ranges are also increased. Traditionally, we think of her in like an Aracha type role in Gear Raid 3, but it can also help you in some situations depending on placement in Guild Boss. Most importantly, we get the Lord skill if we need it for Guild Boss, and we get a lot of damage as well. Again, I would say an underrated magic marksman damage dealer, only because I feel like a lot of people just think of her for her Lord skill, as I mentioned, in areas like Gear Raid 3, but she can do a lot of damage on the Guild Boss as well. Time for the honorable mention. So here he is, guys. It's Voroth. It's Voroth again, man. I'm so confused by this dude, man. I'm so confused. I just need to do it. I just need to rip the band-aid off. You ever have a hero like that you just been meaning to invest in and max out, but like, I don't know, like even as a spender in these games, it's a lot to try to farm the promotional materials, and I'm over like buying them all the time. I did in the very beginning just to make content for you guys, and I'm like, dude, this is getting a bit expensive here. Just buy the promotion materials. So now I'm promotion farming. Anyway, that's my excuse. I've mentioned this guy a few times. I'm gonna be quick here, but he has specialized attack speed where he gets, you know, faster, right? He has this massive 800 attack speed. I hear that he's just an absolute monster when it comes to continuous damage. Let me see what his awakens. Chance to trigger whirlwind slash at 10% on A3, restores HP by 5% on A5 when he's shielded, doubles the chance of triggering an extra basic attack with the whirlwind slash. The reason he's so confusing to me is if you look at the reviews, which you really can't take too much, you know, stock in, his guild boss is a 4.3, which is not bad, but it's far from the best area that he's ranked. If you look at the player ratings, highest DPS on Dragon, best single lane guild boss killer from Immortal Nuts. Gotta believe Immortal Nuts, right? Tim Masholeezy says, a beast on guild boss, a must use for one target. Obviously, a lot of guild boss mentioned as well in the reviews. I actually have not seen any good content out there. Maybe I missed some on YouTube talking about this dude. So maybe I will have to just do a guide, like rip the band-aid off and do one this week. Anyway, I had to include him because the reviews seem to be very promising on Voroth. Stay tuned for that, guys. And there you have it. That's the top 10 and a bonus epic heroes for Guild Boss inside Watcher of Realms. Who did I leave out? Let me know in the comments below. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.